Hey coaches and teachers, this is your IT coach Cheska, and in this video I'm just going over a couple of tips and tricks to help uh, you manage your WBL tracker a lot easier, especially with quarter one or the end of quarter one coming up soon. All right, so before I show you the spreadsheet, I just want to remind you real quick, if you have an AM class and a PM class, please make sure that you're looking at your rosters and that you are adding the right students in the AM spreadsheet and the right students in your PM's spreadsheet. So, and there's a couple of cases that might just have to use one, but you might want to just check in with Jim and Molly if that is the case. All right. So now let's go back to our WBL tracker. The first question I've received from teachers is, how can I keep the names in one spot so that when I scroll left to right and I'm inputting the hours in, I don't have to keep going back to the left to look at the student names. Okay, so there's a quick fix for that, and we are going to actually freeze that column. But before we do that, we need to take care of these first two rows, and that's because they're merged and they're getting in the way of this column A. So we're just going to select the first two rows. We're going over to the help in the menu bar, and we're typing in unmerge. Unmerged cells should pop up, and then we are going to select that. Okay, and I'm just going to hit backspace on my keyboard to get rid of that text. We're not going to worry about the headings right now. We just want to fix those two rows so that we can get to this column right here. Okay, so remember we are freezing this column so that the names stay in place. So I have selected column A where all of my names are, and then I'm going back to help under the menu bar, and I'm going to type in freeze. If you've noticed by now that my quick go-to is the help menu, then you're right. This is the best and fastest way to get things done. So in this menu, I'm going to select freeze one column. And what this does is then you can see that it stays nice and tight over here. And then I can just go and scroll back and forth as I input my hours. Okay, the next one is, what if I don't use all of these categories, or at least I am not using them right now? Is there a way for me to uh, minimize it or make my spreadsheet more compact so that I'm able to get to the right categories more quickly? And again, my answer would be yes, there is a way. And this time we are going to hide the columns. Okay, so for example, for quarter one, we're not doing any internships right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the two columns where the heading internships is under. And then I am going to right click and then go down and select the options hide columns D and E. Okay, and then as you can see, now it's no longer there on my spreadsheet. Okay, maybe right now I'm not doing anything under career awareness, so I can go ahead and select all of these columns that are colored red. And it's important to include the total hours column as well. And you saw me use the right click option, but this time I will show you the help option. And that's by selecting help and then going back to the menus and then saying hide. Hide. So you can hide these rows. We don't really want to do that. I really just want to hide columns F to N. So I'm going to select that option. And then now I've made my spreadsheet a little bit more compact. I see all the necessary categories that I'm working with right now. And then it's a lot easier for me to input my hours, right? So let's say I'm just going to pretend that this is a WBL tracker for culinary arts, and one of the places or experiences they worked at is Marriott. So, again, please check with Molly and Jim regarding which is the correct category to put in your experiences. This is just me pretending I know what I'm doing here. So, industry-based project, maybe one of those experiences is Marriott. They went today, so I'm just going to make sure I have that date as well. So they went to Marriott, and then another one, they'll be going to Holiday Inn, right? Holiday Inn tomorrow. Okay, oops, did I just delete all that? Holiday Inn, 10, 19, 23. So that's okay. We can't really see that. We can always go back and fix that. So remember, we're not changing any of the categories up here. The only things we're changing are these columns where it says title in them. This is where we're putting the experiences in. Okay, so let's say that they were in Marriott and they spent 2 hours. Actually, all of my classes in my AAM class were there. So a quick way to do that is that we're just going to select this little cell, and you see that little blue dot. We are going to go ahead and grab that with our mouse until you see the cursor turn into a crosshair. And then we are going to drag it all the way down to my last student. So that way we're not being tedious with this. We're not putting two at a time per cell. I know that all of these kids went to Marriott that today. They all spent 2 hours, so I'm just going to put that right there. Okay. And I only have 15 students, so I stop right there. And then you can see the hours inputted here are showing up in your grand total column. Okay. Now let's say towards the end of quarter 1, one of your students did do an internship and you need one of those columns back. The nice thing about hiding the column is that we're not deleting anything. And it's important to emphasize that, because if we delete any of these columns, we're actually going to mess up any of the formulas that's hidden that helps you calculate your total hours at the end of each quarter and also for your end of year total. So my suggestion is, even if you don't use it, just hide it, don't delete it. Okay. So what if I need the internship column back? You can just go back up here where you find these little arrows, and then we could just go back and unexpand or expand them, unexpand, expand the columns. Okay. And then we could do the same thing again about hiding them. So I hope that helps. That's how we freeze the name. So you're just scrolling to the right and not having to look for the names again. And we've shown how to hide certain columns so they're not in the way. And we could make your spreadsheet more compact. And let's see, what are some other questions that I'm getting here? Uh, oh yeah, the video support page. Some of you might not need this video support page. You might not even need it. So just how we hid the columns, you can hide the spreadsheet. And you can do that by clicking on this tab right below, video support page. We're going to click on that arrow or that caret, and we are going to select hide sheet. So now, when you open up your spreadsheet, you don't have to bother with, doing the same thing again and again. Now that spreadsheet is gone. Okay. And you could do the same thing. Let's say that quarter 1 is done and we just need to work with quarter 2. So all of our information is right here. We can hide quarter 1 as well. We can say hide sheet. So that way, we're not messing up any of our totals, and it's a lot easier to just look at what's in front of our screen. Okay. And then even though we've hidden the spreadsheets, the totals will still show up in our last tab, end of year totals. All right. Final thing is, some of you are having questions about, where do certain experiences go under which category? I'm actually just going to go back to your own spreadsheet, and I'm going to link this document. And this is the defining work-based learning document. In this document, it talks about each category again and what certain experiences you can place under each category. And so I'll link that in your video support page. But again, if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask Jim or Molly regarding any work-based learning questions. But if you have any questions regarding the WBL tracker or anything that's regarding instructional technology, feel free to reach out to me via email or book an appointment with me. All right, have a good one.